First question comes from Dimitris. He says, what will be your approach to increasing ad spend this Q4 in the US market, given the elections are taking place? Now, it's important to remember that during any sort of election year, advertising just becomes more challenging, right? There's a lot more approvals that have to go through. There's a lot more rules that platforms are applying to make sure there's no false advertising or false political advertising happening. That said, here's my advice. I think just generally, you want to scale slowly and scale with stuff that you know that works. Really focus on warming audiences versus just going out to cold audiences with your offers. This right now, August, we're in August, it's August 12th. Honestly, from July till October, you should really, really, really just be focused on building that audience that's going to convert in Q4. I like to think of it as sort of like building up the funnel and then you flush it, right? Or think of it as like, you can think of it as a toilet if you want, but you want that buildup. You want people who are becoming aware of the brand and aware of the products and have shown signs of interest or shown that they want to buy the product or they have interest in learning more about it or trying it out. And then in Q4, when you're running the offer, whatever the offer is, that's when you can sort of flush that funnel or flush that toilet and get everybody to come through. It's very similar to, if you were to run like an anniversary sale, and let's say you run an anniversary sale. We actually just did this for one of our clients where we ran the largest anniversary sale that they've done in terms of revenue, but more so also a discount, like a really nice discount. And everybody that was kind of in that build-up area, we sort of flushed that, lent them their highest revenue days. And I think we saw like a 22 ROAS on Meta. But of course, that only happens because we have that buildup, right? If there wasn't that buildup, if we didn't do a good job building that funnel or building that clogged toilet, then as soon as a sale hits, it wouldn't have flushed as hard. And we wouldn't have hit those ROAS numbers or set new revenue day records. Essentially, you want to make sure that there's a lot of awareness and engagement happening within the brand, right? Think about Meta and TikTok. Even Google/YouTube, like they do a really good job going after people who they understand are showing interest either in similar products to what you're selling or directly in your brand. That's obviously a way better way to go about it. You want to also make sure you focus on ROAS, meaning increasing your UPT and AOV. UPT is units per transaction. It's a term that's primarily used around apparel brands. And AOV, of course, is average order value. So whether that's by AOV stacking, cross-selling, upselling in the cart, pre-purchase and post-purchase upsells, adding on travel size products, or whether that's by creating better, welcome offers targeted toward Q3, Q4, knowing that, you're going to try to go for a higher AOV, or that is by adding gift with purchase. So, hey, if you hit this AOV, we're going to unlock a gift with purchase. Or if you buy 5 things, you're going to unlock this free item. Whatever it may be, I think try to focus on also increasing, basically like building that lever on the site, not just on ad spend increase. I would also focus on building out the email and the SMS list. Be a lot more aggressive with your opt-in collection on the site. We've seen, I don't know if you guys, actually, I'm sure you have seen it or heard about it, but the Postscript on-site opt-in has been working really well for this period of time where we're trying to build that list going into Q4. Also, ensure from a site conversion rate standpoint, you're plugging the holes in the bucket. So I think of, actually, a bucket might be the wrong word, but think of like this long pipe, right? You have to get from point A to point B in the pipe, and the water in the pipe is your site traffic. So what you want to do is you want to plug any holes that are, sitting at the bottom of the pipe where water's starting to drip out. The best way to do that is you can run some Shopify reports. You can go to Google Analytics and run a report. If you go to nik.co, nik.co/exitpath, EXITPATH, it's just a redirect I set up to go to a FAQ from Google Analytics. It'll show you exactly how to create a report within GA so that you can actually see what are the pages that are causing drop-off. And then I would also recommend using heatmap.com to actually look at those pages and understand what it is that is then causing the drop-off. So obviously, going back to the original question, approach to increasing ad spend, scale slowly, scale with things you know, focus on warming up audiences, focus on email, building that email and SMS list, focus on increasing the AOV or the UPT when people transact on your site, maybe even just make a better version of an intro offer that is a higher AOV. And lastly, go to GA and figure out where your leaky points in your pipe are and try to plug those. The last thing you can do is try to focus on channels or tactics that just historically have, higher engagement or lower CPMs. For example, advertorials, which we talked about last week. If you missed that episode, check it out. It's just the one before this. Or direct mail, which we'll talk about in a second. But the beauty of direct mail or even things like out of home is you don't really have those CPM hikes, right? Like Q4 Facebook gets really expensive, but you don't have that CPM hike with direct mail because the post office doesn't increase the cost of postage just because it's Q4.